Hello everyone, this is Serious Trivia. Welcome to the first of many Total War Troy preview videos. This will be our first faction preview video. Previously, we already launched a Total War Troy preview video where I highlighted all the UI and mechanics changes that's added in Total War Troy and compared it with other Total War title, especially Three Kingdoms, since that's where most of my audience are from. So if you're confused about some of the gameplay aspect or maybe some of the controls, definitely go check that video out first. For the purpose of these faction preview videos, we're focused on each individual faction, and here we have Agamemnon, the king of Mysia. And over here we can kind of check out exactly what makes his faction unique as why you might want to play him when the game officially launches on August 13th. And since this is an early access build, thanks to CA for providing me with such a build, some things are subject to change, of course, and if we run into any bugs, it is still a pre-release build. And for the gameplay wise, Agamemnon has two special faction playstyles. Every faction has two unique things that's added in. For us is King of Men, and it appoints heroes to court positions. Appointed heroes receive bonuses and provide faction-wide effects. Being in court increases the hero's motivation. So let's talk about these things a little bit here. The heroes are basically generals that you can recruit. Each army requires one hero. So heroes that you recruit will increase your army count, and then you can additionally appoint these heroes to a special court structure that's unique to Agamemnon. And the court structure goes from one person at the very top. It's three different tiers. The naming of these tiers are based on very ancient Mycenaean Greek. I'm not going to try to pronounce them, but we can look at them once in game. But basically there is a top tier where you can only appoint one position. This is kind of your second in command type of position. And then you have 3 below him and then 5 below him. And if you can collect, let's say 5 in the third tier, you get a special bonus. And then if you get 3 in the second tier, basically you get different faction-wide bonuses by having your court position filled to certain tiers. So if you only have 4 of the bottom 5 positions, then you get a smaller bonus than if you had 5. And these positions will also help increase your hero's motivation. Motivation is a special type of satisfaction measure for your individual heroes or generals. And what this does is if your hero will all come with a certain set of personality, and you can read the personality when you recruit them, and they'll basically say if your faction is praising Aphrodite, right, or praising Apollo, then that hero would increase motivation 1 a turn. Or maybe the hero wants to fight in coastal cities or want to fight in foreign lands, in enemy territory. There's all sorts of different motivations depending on the personality of the hero. And if you satisfy those motivations, you get extra motivation points. And motivation points work very similar to satisfaction in that if you have high motivation, you get extra bonuses to your troops, to the county or province that you're in. If you have low motivation, then you get penalties. And they will never defect. So even if you have super low motivation or have a hard time keeping your general highly motivated, you basically just forego a lot of the army benefits and bonuses and maybe suffer a bit of penalty, but it's not like they will defect to the enemy. Now the Lion's Share, it's another special faction playstyle focused on Agamemnon. This allows us to entice or force other factions to become your vassals. And not only do you get vassals, you can also make them obey you and give you resources as tribute each turn. And vassals can be extorted to give more tribute, but will grow to hate you as a result. So a couple of things about these. We'll also look at all these in-game. There's separate tabs and panels for them. But basically, you can build a very strong vassal network as Agamemnon, and each of your vassals per turn will pay a tribute to you. You can set the tribute rate. It's kind of like a tax slider to determine how much tribute they will give you, and that would determine how much your vassals will end up hating you per turn. Or conversely, you can ask for 1 turn extortions of massive amounts of a certain resource. Since there's 5 resources in the game, you can only extort for 1 resource, and you'll know exactly how much they will give you, and it will tell you how much they will hate you for it. and basically you'll get like a debuff that says greedy master, and then they will hate you by like 50 points or so. And if you can balance your vassals nicely, that's a great source of resources, especially for a resource such as gold, because we mentioned in our earlier video, gold is the only resource in the game that's a finite resource. Means the mines or the counties and minor settlements that produces gold will eventually run out of production. But gold you receive from vassals, like lion's share, that's not coming out of the actual vassal's deposit of gold. That is just something that's appearing out of thin air in a sense. So you can actually acquire large sums of gold and other resources through a vassal network. So it does force you into playing a style to try to get more vassals, or maybe keep your vassals happy. And the recommended playstyle for the army here, so the roster that he has is very balanced among the Achaeans, or the Greek side, the Greeks in this area, and has a mix of good heavy armored infantry and capable range units and strong chariot. So good at everything, very balanced. That's why the faction starting situation is easy. It's a very well balanced setup. Heroes. Every faction has one hero class that they just cannot recruit. So in this case for Agamemnon, we cannot recruit fighter class, but we can recruit warlords, defenders, and archer, skirmisher, or archer class. Each one has subclasses, so trickster and skirmisher will be subclasses. I believe Agamemnon is a warlord, so epic heroes are basically advanced versions of these generic. I don't know which subclass he is advanced class of, but I think he is probably close to warmonger, but I'm not sure. But basically warlords are kind of your commander who buff their units in battle, and mentors are the special kind of warlord that buffs when you're managing territories outside on the campaign map. Commanders buff units in battle, and warmongers are very good at strengthening just the offensive capabilities and weakening the enemy. All different types of bonuses. And we get some special units, light Javelin man, very good at harassing. So in this game you have a couple different type of range units. You have javelins, you have slingers which throw rocks, and you have the traditional archers that shoots arrows. So javelins are your go-to armor piercing damage infantry. They also are good at shorter distances, get behind the enemy, throw some javelins into them, take out the enemy pretty quickly. Not very high ammo. Archers don't have the most range because during this period the bow technology has not advanced that far yet. So actually the biggest range would actually be on your slingers, which throws rock, but rocks have very poor armor piercing damage. So it's kind of a balance between these three things of range, armor piercing damage, and ammo that you got to consider when picking out these troops. And also you got to think about mobility as well, because in this game with heavy infantry speed actually matters, because there's not often going to be a cavalry that will run you down. So if you could kite with your range units, some range units can fire while on the move. All these things are going to play a factor in how you play the battles. And on legendary and veteran difficulty, which we're going to try to play, things are actually quite difficult, so expect me to make mistakes. You don't get good at the game right away. We're just gonna go and try it out. We also have Agamemnon's companions and Agamemnon's guards. These are both heavy elite infantry. This is a two-handed spear one, and this one's a two-handed axe. Very aggressive, very high damage and high armor. Late game buildings, you need buildings to unlock units, even your faction unique one. These require some level 5 military buildings, so you're not going to see these until very late. And we're going to read these stories, because might as well. At the onset of the Trojan War, godlike Agamemnon commanded the largest fleet ever to sail the Aegean Sea. Driven by an all-encompassing lust for power and glory, the king of Mycenae rallied the many kingdoms of Achaeans against Troy, determined to raze the fabled city to the ground in pursuit of his bloody ambition. The aging warrior still inspired awe on the battlefield with his heavy armor and the mighty swings of his mace. He and his younger brother Menelaus shared a thirst for revenge against Paris, who had seduced the Spartan ruler's wife and fled across the waters with her. The Mycenaean leader's formidable will was also the source of his hubris. In the Iliad, Homer recounts how Agamemnon, through arrogance and unyielding pride, offended Apollo himself then later provoked Achilles into withdrawing the support of his Myrmidons with disastrous results. And here we are the son of Atros and Aropol. I can't really pronounce these, but we get 12% to administrative efficiency, which is our research rate, for royal decrees, which are basically reforms, and we get 4 influence to the region that we're standing in. So with that said, let's go siege Troy.
O wide-ruling Agamemnon, there is only one response to Queen Helen's abduction, and that is war.
Brother, your foolish passion has doomed us.
Fear not, noble cousins. I stand with you.
This is a grave insult to Golden Mycenae. Enlist the other Achaean kings. The folly of Paris may convince them to support the forging of a great Achaean empire.
Troy thinks to slight me, but they will pay the price.
Your brother Menelaus will be relying on your full support in this great endeavor.
Paris of Troy must pay!
Secure your power at home before embarking on overseas initiatives. The warriors of Tiryns wage war on your allies and vassals at Troezen. They dare to challenge your fame and power. Continue your expansion, while ensuring the Trojans pay for their insult to you and your brother.
Alrighty, so we're loaded up into the game, and we got to hear kind of what our objectives are in the game here. Turn the visor off. And here we have King of Men, we kind of mentioned it. Agamemnon controls his state with the prudence of a good administrator. The heroes at his disposal can be assigned to government posts to aid the king and his subject. This is our unique court system. The lion's share. Agamemnon can make other factions his vassals. Once under his rule, a faction must pay regular tribute to the great king and comply to any sudden resource demands he might have. Overexploited vassals might become unruly. In our first mission, defeat the enemy. Defeat an army belonging to the falling faction in battle, Tiryns. And the warmongers of Tiryns have advanced with their forces and now threaten your lands and livelihood of your people. March out with your army and defeat them in battle. And we get rewarded for 250 food and 80 bronze. So that's kind of our notification. And as we hop in the game, we can kind of take a look at our surroundings. We are pretty situated in the middle of the Achaean side. To our south is Sparta. This is Laconia. And over here is where historically you have Athens. And we're in the thick of things. We have our own province of Messenicia. And we are missing both of the minor settlements. They're controlled by this faction here in the north. They have both of them. And I guess this would mean we would be attacking them quite early. And to confirm this, you can just double click to see the diplomatic screen. And we can see that we're currently unfriendly, so I think this is a pretty telltale sign that we are going to eventually end up going to war with them. We have a past war in our relationship here. So just be mindful when you are kind of planning out your campaign. We're going to hop out of diplomacy real quick. But right away, we are actually at war with Tiryns to the south. They are in a different province, so Tiryns. And here is where our vassals currently hold one of the minor settlements. We hold the other. The bronze producing one is our hand. The food producing one is in our vassal's hand. Each minor settlement will produce one of the 5 unique resources. And then the major settlement of the capital of the province will have this symbol here. So this means our early game objective is to clear out Tiryns and then move north, in my opinion, to secure the entirety of our province. There is a big benefit to securing your province, which is quite different from Three Kingdoms, in that you have commandments, which you can basically issue once you control the whole province, and you gain different type of bonuses in that province because you own the whole thing. You can manage it better. So on the onset, before we go to war, because that's naturally the first thing to do, we want to explore diplomacy because That's kind of what you want to do early on when you have full force. After the first battle, these guys will be depleted, and then we will get worse deals. So jump into diplomacy. We have a bunch of known factions, but we want to go to quick deal, very useful. We want to start with offering the most neutral type of agreement, which is non-aggression pact, goes into military access, then defensive alliances, then military alliances. Basically, they're progressively deeper steps of aligning yourself with them. Defensive alliances where you only go to war for them if they get attacked. Military alliances, basically, doesn't matter who did the attacking, you're going to join the war with them. And we had to make vassal, which is our special one, but as you can see, it's very hard to convince people to become your vassal. Of course, you could try to negotiate with other things. You can also confederate. This is to absorb the faction, but for our playstyle purposes, it's probably better to actually try to make as many vassals as we can, and peace treaty. So non-aggression pact, it's sorted by likelihood, which is kind of diplomatic opinion. This is a nice piece of mechanic that's added from Three Kingdoms, and we see that we have Achilles here, who is very friendly with us and offering us 7.8. So before we do a lot of these deals, you have to kind of think about what you want to do in your first turn, because this is our existing resources, and oftentimes what you want to do in your first turn is to build. You need to build up your economy, build up your settlements, and that requires a lot of wood early on. So wood is actually one of these resources I recommend you to actually focus on in the early game at least. So when you have such trade deals, let's say we're going to actually negotiate with them.
I accept that words also have their
We're
place
going
in war.
to enter into a bartering agreement. Sometime you might want to just have a single barter, which is just the lump sum payment. But I tend to want to get maximum value from the per turn. We can kind of compare. So here, 7.8, he has tons of wood. You can see by the color code, he's not interested in getting any more. He has abundant wood, so it's less valuable for him. In this case, it's more valuable for us to ask him for this. So this slider tells how much turn we want this bartering deer to go for. So maybe, let me play around with this for a little bit. Okay, so 129 seems to be the 5-turn demand. That's around 645 wood. If we slide it to this point, then 645 would translate to about, in between. So it's kind of hard, but you can also play around with like the amounts if you want. It's actually can be pretty tedious. If you're the type like me who's actually pretty patient when I play by myself, I would play around with the multiples until I get the maximum amount of wood. But for the purpose of this guide, we're just gonna take the 229, and you can always check. Food is always the one that's in abundance for you and for your allies. There's always going to be a lot of food, and it's always going to be very low value. So maybe sometime you can squeeze out a little value with asking for one food to make it even, or you can even offer a little bit of food on your side, which surprisingly is negative because he just doesn't want food. Interesting. But like if you give him gold, he's very happy. Gold is very valuable for all factions. So this will work nicely for us. We'll get 5 turns of 129 wood. Let's agree, add this to the offer. You see now it's neutral. No one benefits or hate this deal. And you can see we can even upgrade this deal to add on military access. And that will give us 4.3 more points. And that means we can kind of renegotiate this deal in a little bit. So yeah, so things like this, you can play around with diplomacy. It's very robust, similar to Three Kingdoms. There we go, 185. Lots of wood coming our way, and we're gonna say yes. Nothing else really add much value.
Yes, I like.
He likes it. Good for you, Achilles. Now, one thing I do want to complain about is I don't know a way where I can jump back into the diplomacy screen with all the factions. I seem to have to exit and have to jump back into a new one, which is a little tedious, to be honest. And here we have Arcadians, which is to our west here. So kind of you want to plan out how you want to grow. Argos is also to your west, the immediate west. Argos tend to be, they start the game out friendly with you. A lot of the factions, you can see this one's neutral in Athens, Athena, and Kronos all the way down to the island of Crete, neutral. But they're willing to sign, so you're not really gonna fight them in a long time. And then I might want to keep some positive neighbors and eventually maybe vassalize them. So you could go around and make deals, you know, for a good 10-15 minutes before you start fighting, because once you fight, the value of these will go down, because you can kind of, let's use this as an example. We're not actually going to make any more deal, but here you can see from this point value, relative strength 5.9. That's a big chunk of why he has this favoritism on your side. If you start losing men, that value will go down quite rapidly. So we're not going to do any more deals, just using one deal as an example. This is just a preview. We'll eventually play a real campaign properly. So now the first thing we want to do is actually start fighting. So this battle here, just to look at our army, we have a light swordsman. These are light class infantry. There's 3 classes: light, medium, heavy. Light infantry tend to have more speed. They're excellent at flanking. If you look at the bonuses, flank attack improved. So this unit, don't engage them head on. They're designed to flank, and you should definitely use them to flank. If you don't, you're going to suffer quite a bit. Militia unit, these are expendable. They don't have much. The expendable actually means something here. It means that if this unit get routed, it does not reduce nearby units' morale. So everyone on the team knows they're expendable. So definitely throw these guys on the front line, absorb the enemy damage right away. No one's going to care they're routing. Then you have your spearmen. These are your medium infantry here that you start out with. These guys have pretty good damage bonuses to axe, to sword, and to large. Large meaning cavalry, or larger, like mythical creatures, perhaps minotaurs. And they don't have the best damage or the best speed because they're medium. They're going to be holding the front line, hopefully. That's their purpose here. And then you have young spears. So these guys are excellent at charging. And that's really what you should use them for. Obviously not carrying a shield, weak against missile, poor defense, but if you can utilize these well at charging the enemy, they're quite strong. Think of them as your shock cavalry on foot if you have experience with 3 Kingdoms. And lastly, we have 1 Javelin men. These are our faction unique unit, I believe, the light Javelin men, and they have good range, 115 skirmish power, excellent armor piercing. That's kind of the highlight of Javelin troops. And on top of that, they have stock, so they can hide, and they also have vanguard deployment, so you can actually deploy these farther than your deployment zone. So that's kind of the unit we have. Agamemnon has ability that boost melee attack and melee defense by 10% each. Here, melee attack and defense means hit rate and evasion rate. They don't mean actual damage, although hit rate would translate to a damage increase. And then you also have your, Aristia, which is kind of a god favoritism, once per battle type of thing. It's not really controllable because you don't know when the gods will bless you, but it's a nice heal and kind of a last stand thing for the general. He's immune to flanking, immune to fear and terror, and he's a siege attacker, which allow him to attack settlements right away without building siege weapons. But let's get this battle started.
The mighty scepter.
So let's see, we're fighting a general. We can see he's a defender protector, which means he is good at buffing his units defensively, also holding against large amount of units. He is shielded. Very not a joke. We're playing on legendary veterans, so these guys are all very strong. Gotta play it well, or else we're gonna take a lot of hits. And they also have a flanking light swordsman. They have spearmen just like us, young spear, same unit, skirmisher. So these are a little different. They are just a lighter javelin unit. Definitely not as good as our javelin unit, which, as you can see, has a shield, and it's our faction unique unit, so it should stand out. We didn't also look at our general. We do have some unique weapons and shield on us. Started the game with them, which is quite nice. And then they also have a slinger. These are excellent range. So you see the sling throwing rocks have much farther range than the bow technology and the javelin technology of the day. So these have 170 range on the slingers, but rocks don't have very good armor piercing damage, so they are not going to hurt as much. They're really just harassing units. And over here, you see their javelin only has 95 range, while ours have 115. So that's the difference there. And I believe javelins have just armor piercing as their kind of extra stats. Anyhow, we are slightly favored, not by much. And if we can look at the terrain, the map is not always set. So this would be like a little cliff area, lots of forest. We're on the yellow side, they're on the red side, as much as this should be flipped to make it a little bit more clear. We can fight it, delegate it, or retreat from it. Let's fight it. Alrighty, we're loaded into the battle, and similar to some of the older Total War games, you have a choice as an attacker to wait out three chances to change the weather conditions. Most of the conditions, no matter how many times you wait, will be dry. It's hard to actually get a different one. Dry is the most common, highest chance. We will just take dry. And here we have it. So the enemy's over here. Because we're playing on battle realism, on veteran difficulty with 40-minute battle timer, we can't pause, and the vision's going to be dictated by how far our units are away. So if we're here, we can't see these guys once we deploy. But luckily we do have a Vanguard deployment unit, so you can see they're kind of disappearing on us. We can deploy all the way up to this white line. This is their deployment zone, and there's nothing behind. It covers the edge of the map, so it kind of prevents you from flanking them right away. But we have stock, so we can even hide on grassland. You can see the hidden symbol still active. So we can have this guy kind of as a scout. It's quite nice to have a unit just hovering here. And maybe we can shoot at them from on top of the cliff. I'm sure that's a pretty good advantage there. And it looks like they're all over here, which means we can probably use this forest. This will be our flanking unit. I'm going to use these guys in the front. These two are our flanking units. Let's call these 2. I'm going to call them 1. And he will be our 3. So we're going to loop these guys behind. And then we're going to send these guys through the forest to close the gap a little. They also have 2 range units, so that could be difficult. Let's jump in here. Yeah, definitely try to use the terrain to your advantage. So here you see the tall grass. They're kind of buried in here. If you're a light infantry, you can hide in tall grass. If you're not a light infantry, you cannot. Here they can hide on any terrain. I'm going to turn off auto fire real quick because I don't want them to blow their position. Even though they do have stock, they don't have snipe. So snipe allows you to remain hidden even when shooting. Alright, we're going to try to move through here. Then we're going to show up like kind of here so that they will come face us. And then meantime, we got to buy some time for our light infantry to maneuver into position for the flank. They're probably going to see us very soon. It's not like we can remain hidden forever. It's fine if they see us. We'll come into this patch of trees real quick, try to loop behind them, because we do want to get a flank. We have extra flanking damage on this unit here. We can squish them a little bit more forward. If they're willing to engage us over here, be even better. But I'm not sure. See, this unit's kind of protecting their flank as their protector. I have the stat comparison turned on somehow. Let me turn that off. Yeah, I don't think I need it. I kind of know what the unit does, so I'm going to turn that off. Alright, we can definitely fire, but it's nice to just remain hidden. They will chase us. These guys are fast. They're about the same speed. I think we might be even a little slower. Okay, maybe I do need the unit card. We are what, 46 speed? I believe these are 46. So we match. So I guess we could kite them if we want. We do have tons of ammo. 18. Oh, and a little thing about the unit UI. Let's talk about this. So different shapes tell us what type of unit they are. So light units are circles. Uh-oh, they see us. They're responding. That means we should show over here. Right. Circles are light units. These squares that are diamond shaped are medium units, and I think triangles are heavy. There's a different shape for heavy, so you can kind of tell right away. And if they have the circular, the gold border, it means they are like an extra strong unit. They don't see us. They don't see us. I don't know why this unit isn't going down to the front line. We're gonna send our expendable unit, charge him into the enemy range. They have skirmish mode, so they will run away. Oh, they have saw us. Okay, we run. The solution is run. We're the same speed. The whole idea is to kite. Alright. So they have their range unit. They're shooting at our expendable units. It's exactly what we want. Young spears have really good charge. Let them engage. I'll try to flank. Mobility and flanking is a big deal. We have no rage right now. You have to fight to gain rage to use your abilities. I will charge out. Keep running.
Your warriors are losing heart.
If they turn around, we shoot them. Alright, see, we're getting rage. There we go, we have enough. Let's boost the attack of our allies. Alright, our expendable unit are routing. That's fine. That's what they're supposed to do. And then we flank the... Actually, we can just kill the range. Alright, and here we're just harassing that unit. Maybe we need one of them to come down here. He can try to chase bows. He's not going to be successful, but we need to clean up this battle over here. As you can see, we can't use this here. We need the blessing of gods to show up. It will tell us during the battle. And you can see the routing symbol.
Your warriors are rallying.
And we the expendable unit rally back. Maybe have them chase them so that they don't rally back. Alright, we're routing them pretty nicely. Our young spear can charge over here. We're chasing them away. They're kind of, you know, struggling about where to go. Like, they come back and they see us. Are they going to charge us this time? And then we pull away. Keep this unit busy. Alright, don't chase. Don't over chase. So the green bar is health. The white bar is morale. And the blue bar is fatigue. And if there's an extra bar, like a pink bar under, that's their ammo count. And if you have vehicles or like a chariot, then you also get a blue bar at the very, very bottom. That's vehicle health. Alright, they're trying to help. We harass a little bit more. And this skull means they're completely routed, which means they will not come back to the battlefield.
Victory.
This means they can still bounce back. So we're still going to send people to chase. Alright, we're going to send the young spear to charge him actually, because he's actually coming to harass us. We'll try to ping him in the back. Yeah, they're still routing. It's going to take, you know, a while to get used to these UI changes, but they're not that confusing. And we didn't zoom in even once, but we can do so here. Young spear have very good charge, so if you could cycle charge, obviously good. Oh, the general has routed. And he's completely routed. Okay, so this should be pretty simple now. I should probably have him stop shooting. He's probably gonna kill a lot of our own guys. Maybe kill a few of these just for fun, experience. Yeah, not for fun, experience. And we can end battle. Decisive victory. Not so bad for our first try. And let's end here. Alrighty, and we have this really fancy post-battle screen kind of duel. We did pretty well. Basically, you have to know what each unit is designed for, right? Expendable units, throw them in first. Then you have your medium or slightly heavier units that's holding your line, buying time for your flanking units to show up. A good charging unit. He leveled up, rank 1 here, very nice. Get a lot of kills. Young spears have a lot of damage. Use these guys, they're very good. And our generals did okay, and these guys didn't do any damage. They just kept the unit busy. They kept their flanking unit pretty busy, and that's it. Let's we have choices. So you have you can get food, you can kill off the enemy troops and you get extra morale, or you can take them in and get replenishment. So in this case, I'm actually going to go for replenishment. Food is always a very excessive resource. I know you need it to recruit units, but you also have tons of it coming in every turn, and the only use for it really is to unit upkeep. So definitely, I think replenishment is great here.
My renown grows.
And we get food and bronze for finishing that mission. Our new mission is to muster the troops, recruit a total of 12 units, get more food, get more bronze. We got our decisive victory. And it says we killed the enemy general in battle. Very nice. Basically a capture and defeat. I think it's just designed for the first battle. And we can recruit right away. Recruiting system works on a local recruitment system. We can recruit whatever the province have unlocked in terms of buildings. And here are our options: Militia, Young Spear, Spearmen, the Arcadians, Slingers, and Skirmishers. And here I think I want a couple more Young Spear. They're just quite powerful here. They're also cheap. 740 to recruit in terms of food cost and 85 upkeep. So I'm gonna actually, we have 3 slots available right now, so I'm actually gonna recruit 3. And it's okay if you are short on food, as long as you don't bankrupt yourself. Bankrupting any of the resource will give you the same penalty as the bankrupt policy in the old games. We also leveled up our general here. We didn't really take a look at him. So this is kind of our stats, all sort of effects we have in battle from our skills, traits, and weapons and gears. This is our campaign effects, and this is our current army upkeep. It will go up next turn once the units get recruited. Here's our current trait. Everyone will have some sort of lineage. This is our family background bonus. Then we have a Homer character. This just means we are part of the, Iliad. We're one of these great epic heroes that will not die. If we are killed in battle, we are merely wounded, and there'll be a few turns of cooldown before we come back to join the fight. Epic Hero gives us some extra bonuses in terms of generating extra rage, extra morale, and influence. This is just given to all the faction leaders, which are all called Epic Heroes. And then we have a personality trait, Bold. So this one will be slightly different for all the generals. And here we get some influence, our Aurora size, and also some morale. This can be upgraded by achieving victory from multiple offensive battles. So if we keep fighting offensive battles and winning, this will be upgraded. Right now it's this lowest tier here. We can go all the way up to Dauntless, which gives 30% and plus 9 morale. So that's a fun mechanic for traits as well. Skills, this is why we leveled up. So we have got 500 experience from the first battle. That's all we needed to level up. And we can kind of pick between one or two. We don't have to pick these if we don't want to get these. You can save up your points for other skills down the line. They're locked by level all the way to level 14. And the color code, you can look here. Red ones are abilities that you can use in battle. Green ones are boost to your troop. Blue ones are boost to the campaign map. And yellow ones are just boost to personal stats. And here, let's say we will get a chariot ancillary to the hero, which I think would be a mount. A lot of cool stuff down the line that you can build up on your characters. If we take a look at these, this one gives extra stamina to allies in range. This one gives extra speed and a little bit of stamina. I don't think we need either one right now, so I'm going to actually save up our points. Equipment, this is where we can equip our items and mounts and weapons. We do start out the game with two epic, or not epic, unique or top tier weapons. We have our scepter and our shield. Very beautiful items you see here. We don't have anything else. If we do, we can click it and equip it, similar to this, just like we have none to swap it out with.
The prize
and we're gonna go work for our next mission, which we did. Now the rest is building buildings. Right now we only have 600 wood, which is not a lot. We do have two counties here that we can work on. This is a minor settlement. Minor settlements only max out to level 3 in terms of settlement, and in terms of settlement we already have the main building leveled up to 3, which will allow all the other buildings to be built to level 3. The X means the building can be built in your main settlement and can go beyond level 3, but if you build them here they can only go to 3. You can build the military buildings, which will unlock certain units. You can build resource buildings in resource minor settlements. All minor settlements are resource settlements. They produce 1 to 5 resources, and here we have one that's focused on bronze, as you can see the symbol here. So from the resource building, you have the very standard one. The leftmost one is kind of the low-key steady growth one. You have 21 bronze per turn. If you have high influence in this province, by high influence you're looking over here. So here we are Arcadian, and Arcadian influence is 65%. High influence is above 60, so this would work. And you gain influence by having bonuses like buildings, population, and characters. And your decrees or your reforms can also help. So in this case, we would get the extra 28. This line of building is very cheap to build. It doesn't give you the most bronze, but it's cheap to construct. The next tier here gives you extra bronze, as you can see, 32 versus the standard 21, but it doesn't have the high influence bonus, which will make this less. But it does give you -4 influence, so it actually costs influence to push out a little extra bronze production, but you do get higher rank for all shielded infantry unit, and this obviously upgrades. It requires stone once you get level 2. Over here it requires bronze, so you can pay attention to what building chain you're going for, but everything requires a lot of wood. Here you have one that reduces happiness to give you a boost to all resources in the entire province. So this is kind of your multiplier building. And at the third final tier, you get extra bronze from the buildings here, faction wide. So this can stack. It does cause some happiness. This is kind of your high tier workshop. So this is kind of the low tier one. This one is going to cost you a lot more to build, but it's going to give you a lot more bronze. So in total here, tier 1, you can get 103 when you have high influence. Over here, it maxes out at 49. So quite a big difference, but it requires a lot more wood and stone. So even at level 1. This is kind of your suicidal option in my opinion. You forego growth, which is fine if you have, already maxed out your settlement level. In our case, that's true, and we don't own anything else, and we don't intend to own anything else. You can probably forego growth for this province and just go for a lot of bronze per turn, and it doesn't cost you a lot. So that's a viable option, I guess. In our case, we do intend to take Tyrants, so I'm not going to go for that. We don't have enough to build this, which is a shame. So what are we going to do as Agamemnon is we're going to start exploring some of our faction unique mechanics. So let's first look at Lion's Share. We start the game with Troyzen as our vassal. They love us. We have plus 195 right now, and it's going to 218. And the reason why is because we share a war with the Tyrants. And we also share a treaty with Achilles, which is someone they like. So we're getting a lot of points here. We can afford one way is to change the tax rate. This is the per turn amount they're paying us. If we slide this, it goes up, but you see these faces. This is how much angrier they will get with us per turn if they're asked to give us this much. I am fine with the base amount. What's really useful is these one-time extortions. So you can demand tribute from your vassal. So we can go to Troyzen and be like, I want a lot of wood. And they will hate us one time for this, but this will help us speed up our campaign quite a bit.
You will obey?
We got a nice big amount of wood as tribute, as you can see, and they dropped, by 50 points, which would be 145 if you look at it, right? Greedy Master, but it's actually going up to 168 because we do have other positive stacks that are going, so I think this is fine. As long as we don't demand tribute too often, we can get away with this. And having more vassals give us more option to do this with multiple vassals.
Remember this
Anyhow,
day.
so with this much wood, we can construct and field buildings. We can, upgrade our harbor if we want. We get food. We get increase to all resources. We also get growth. Quite useful. But right now we don't own Tyrants, so I'm going to hold off on that. Instead, we're just going to go for the standard building because we just don't have enough stone to go for this one, even though it's probably better valued. But we want to build a lot of different buildings. We're going to go with just a standard one there. And note the limited amount of building slots. Here we have max of 8. Minor settlement only has 4, and one of them is always going to be your main building. So definitely plan out ahead if you want it to be a certain type of, maybe you just want to recruit bowmen in this province and there's no higher tier bowman building that you'll lose out on. Maybe you throw it on one of the minor settlement. Don't duplicate because there's no benefit there. Back to our capital, we don't own any of the minor settlements, so there's a wood producing one and a grain producing one and food producing one that hopefully we'll eventually get. We currently have our special building, so there are different categories within the main building. You have special, you have military, and you have administration and temple. Temple, administration, and special are not available in minor settlements. Military, just like resources, not available in the major settlements. So special here depends on location or faction. In this case, we have the Mycenaean Wall. That's kind of a unique building that fits our settlement. It's already being constructed at level 1. It gives us extra morale, basically a better defensive building. And we have 2 build slots. We also got muster field and practice range. So we have access to spearmen and skirmishers. If we want better units, we have to upgrade them, and it will unlock better units for us to recruit. In this case, I do want to develop our economy a little bit. So administration is where we're going. Religion and divine favors, you want to go for temple. And here, I'm actually going to go for vineyard for sure. This gives happiness and leads to a level 2 building that gives us a spy, which is one of the agents we can use. And happiness is also something we need to balance because we are playing on legendary, so there's quite a high penalty to our happiness. Aside from that, we have more wood, so we can actually keep building. There's no limit to building slots. As long as you have the resource, you can keep building. So we would like some growth. That's helpful, but growth, if it's used to upgrade your main building. But look at the cost of the main building upgrades. Very expensive in terms of gold cost. We're just not going to have enough, even if we push growth up. It's useful, but not right away. Especially since we're using our last construction slot. We're not going to be able to unlock these until we upgrade this. So I'm going to forego growth, and I'm actually going to go for this. I want the envoy as well. I want as many agents as well. So let's go for that. So we built 3 buildings, used up our wood. We're going to get a bunch more next turn. And we can exit here. And before we move on, we can issue a decree, basically research reform moving forward. We already have the stone and the first level of the gold research. That's why we are getting gold per turn and getting stone per turn, even though we don't own any stone producing or gold producing land. And we're also getting a few 4 gold from the lion's share. So we can go farther in these if we want. Get influence, get happiness. Seems useful actually. Battle speed, minus 8% cost for all heavy infantry, or we can go for one of these resources. So early game, I do like wood quite a bit. Bronze, I think we're doing quite alright. And food is always useful, but food you often find you have plenty of anyways. And growth, that's actually pretty good. Yeah, I need some time to get used to the reform trees as well. But I think I want food maybe, and go for this growth, because I do want to level up our main settlements, and since we didn't go for the mud brick house, we might as well go for this. 7 turns, long time. Alright, I think we did pretty much everything we could. Pray to the gods, or hecatomb for the gods, plus 70 favor, and there's a couple that's good for the early game. So Aphrodite is pretty good. You get diplomatic relationships. You can probably do this right away when the game starts, right? Boost this by 70, get into respected, you get plus 10 diplomatic relations, so all your first early on deals will actually get more points. Your 200% to all effects of organized games, that's a commandment that's only available once we get an entire province. We don't have that right now, so maybe that's not so useful. But tier 2 is quite good. You get extra happiness for having non-aggression packs, you get extra replenishment after battle, you get extra growth, so all very useful things. The level 3 I feel like is slightly luck-laster a little bit, but I also like Hera quite a bit. Get increased damage to slingers, minus recruitment costs in all provinces with 50% influence, but I like the tier 2. Minus 1 construction time for all main buildings, and minus 10% wood construction costs faction-wide. So that will probably speed up your build quite a bit, and I tend to like building stuff. But each one has their own playstyle focus, and you can definitely pray to more than one if you want. Only costs 50 food, 500 food, my bad. And there's a 5-turn cooldown, I believe, in between hecatombs. And there's a decay of 10 points per turn, so it's not going to sustain yourself. Building a temple to one of the god or goddesses will give you 100 points right away, and you can recruit a priestess who can continue to push your divine will with them. So that's another method you can utilize. We're not going to do much here, and we're going to just end turn here. Alright, a king's decree. Issue a royal decree. So we are researching one, and once we get it done, we'll get some extra wood and food. Our neighbor to the west are raiding, so you see the coins flying into them. I mean, we probably shouldn't be lazy and should have got to deal with them, but this is not a real campaign, we're just previewing. We still want to recruit a few more units, get that mission done before we attack, and also sieging down settlements is actually quite hard, so we definitely want some more units. I think I want at least one more heavy, one more expendable, and probably another javelin-ish skirmisher. And that's good enough for us. And we had to wait a turn for them to show up, and we can continue to look back if we want to build anything. So I feel like we could do this, but I kind of want to wait for that one. This is also something we can do. So -4 influence, right? It's not the end of the world, because it's not minus 4%, it's minus 4 points. Right now we have 23 points of influence in this region because of population. So I don't think that's a bad idea to go for this. It's also quite cheap. You can rack up some bronze and trade for it. Upgrading this is another option, but we don't have enough wood for that. It's quite expensive. Also costs stone. Anyhow, I think we're good to go. We're just going to wait for them to show up next turn. Replenishment is still going. It's going to take forever. They don't need to be fully replenished for us to attack this. This might be quite difficult. We can check their garrison. They have 7 units in the garrison plus 1 champion, and then they have 4 units here. So we're talking about 2 champions and 11 units total. We have 13. A couple are very... we might want to recruit a bit more even, but that's kind of the goal here. Let's continue. Alright, we mustered the troop, got some resources. Construct any building. This will be done fairly soon. Okay, so we want the spy to come out. We're going to spend our wood here. Do we want... This costs 1,300 food and 60 bronze, and we get access to club warriors, shielded spear, and shielded clubmen. These are basically our medium frontline class of infantry. Not sure if I want them. I do want an envoy. I want agents. We did build this, sacrificing some influence for extra bronze. Our happiness is tanking, thanks to our legendary difficulty. We'll just deal with rebellions when it happens. So we're getting quite a bit of growth, and this is still going up quite nicely. We could get more bronze, even though I don't really have a use for it right now. Go for that.
Let my enemies beware.
I feel better if we recruit a few units. We only have 2 ranged units. Let's get one more of them. We have 4 young spear. Let's get 5, and then we'll get 1 more front line. Alright, I think I feel better then. And if you want a new army, you want to come in here and recruit heroes. And you can see each one has their own personality. So this guy is an elitist. So his motivation is +2 motivation after this hero wins a battle, but not as part of a reinforcing army. He wants to be one attacking. Right? He loses motivation if he loses a battle. So you can kind of see how you can gain motivation with these different generals. You can kind of see their main class and subclass, how much it costs to recruit them, how much it costs to upkeep them. It's mainly food, as you can see. And you have a lot of different ones. Warlike, opulent, trooper, just hates Trojans, right? So they would gain motivation by sacking or raising a Trojan settlement. You have a lot of, and this one hates Greeks, you know? So you can recruit a lot of different ones here. But you gotta know there's a thing called supply lines in the game, which is something that's very familiar in Warhammer. As you increase the number of armies, you also will increase the percentage of the upkeep of each army. So by recruiting a new army, you're going to end up increasing your total amount over here. But anyhow, and you can recruit agents here. So these are epic agents. You need to have the favors of the gods to recruit these. These are typical ones. We can't recruit any right now because we don't have the right building for it. We will very soon. 2 more turns, I believe. All right, let's get these units recruited and we'll go attack the settlement here. We'll let them raid a little bit longer. Alrighty, so let's get this battle going.
A god among men.
He also recruited 4 more units, so it's not like we have it easy. So in this game, walls are indestructible. You can climb over them, of course, and it will cost a lot of stamina. And you can use your hero to break down gates, which is one of our things. The power bar does not look good. I don't think we can beat them because they summon those 4 extra units. I think if we siege them, force them to come out, even then we are outnumbered. Oh no, we have 1 extra unit, but they have 2 heroes. Delegate is a close defeat. That's actually not bad for this bar. I'm gonna reconsider here. They did pump out some more units. I guess we can just go back a little
Form up and go.
and max out our army first, I guess. Or I want more of these.
Yes,
They
indeed.
just hurt a lot more. And then another range. Alright, hopefully they won't recruit anymore. And let's see, we're almost got our buildings triggered, so we want to continue to construct this. 4 more turns. We have unassigned skill point. Yeah, we know that. No worries. Let's continue here. Hopefully... Oh wow, it's just the arm race over here. Okay. So the new plan is maybe... Oh, we want 20 units. Perfect. That's our excuse.
Gold
We recruit another. Just gonna go all in with the Ion Spears. And we're gonna ambush them if we can. I guess we can't ambush because we recruited.
That's beyond me.
We have to trick him. But let's get that bonus activated. 1 more turn for the buildings. We could drop it a little bit, but do we really need this much bronze? That's the other question. Our population surplus is growing. The next one takes way longer, as you can see. Alright, anyhow, we can... Oh, well, we don't have agents yet, but maybe agents will help us sway this battle. Let's see. Alright, they're just recruiting way faster than us. Maximum strength, got a bunch of resources. Upgrade any settlement building. That's not hard. We already really done that already. So now upgrading it wouldn't actually increase your spy capacity. You can have up to 3 spies. By having 1 here, you can only increase it by 1. And this just gives you a lot of happiness, which is why we're working on it, really. And same reason here, this will give us influence. And now I think we just save up for a little bit. We can get slingers here into Bow of Mycenae. 170 range on these archers. That's really nice. These are like really good archers. Maybe we can go for that. Still 180 on the slingers though. Yeah, let's build that. I do like some range units. That's something we're missing here. And we are going to recruit a couple agents. Spy. So each of these have different personality things as well. So minus 20% action cost, 50% line of sight when you're embedded in an army. Depends on what you want them to do for you, basically. Movement range, that feels actually really nice. Coward. What a nice personality there. Romantic, minus cost. I think this is actually going to pay us better. We're going to go for this guy. They do cost gold. And we want a envoy as well. Plus 5% to all resources in the region. 5% to success chance. I like that actually. Upkeep discount. Well, discounting food really doesn't do much any good. I think we'll just take 5% chance to action. Boy.
No need.
And I think they don't have movement on the turn they're summoned.
No need
Yep,
to get your
it
hands
faded out.
dirty.
And if you... Oh, we don't want to right click them. We want to check their details here. They can also have items. They have traits. They also have skills. So similar to Shogun 2, if you play that, your ninjas can be upgraded. They have a list of actions they can do. Some of these are more aggressive than others, but we're going to try to use them on this settlement here that they just seem to be growing in size. We're pretty much healed.
Glory.
45% chance. Their higher chance ambush 70, but that's really skewed away. Maybe we just ambush in place. Because if they go anywhere, they're at war with us, they should come towards us. And maybe we can just get them here. That way we don't have to fight the garrison, we can fight them separately. We have constructions available, right, but we actually don't want to construct much. Our food is going down way too fast because we have built the 2 agents before we have a good food supply source, so we might actually run out of food. Didn't think about that when we got the agents. We don't have the food production that we need, but hopefully settlements themselves do provide a bit of food, and if we're desperate, we can always click this. As you can see, our relationship is fine. The greedy master is slowly dying down. Oh yeah, we didn't talk about the court system at all. This is our unique court system for Agamemnon. As we have other army counts or heroes available, we can put them into our court here, and they're divided by different seats. So this requires a decree to unlock, but over here you can just add them in and they give different bonuses, as you can see. And depending on how many you have, you get different bonuses as well. So this is recruitment cost. If you have all 5 members filled, you get minus 25%. Here, if you get all 3 of these Council of Priests, you get minus 15% cost to all priestess action and minus 30% construction for all temple buildings. And here, if you have a position here, you get plus 2 ranks for all units. So this is kind of a court mechanic that you have. It helps increase motivation for the general, also decrease the cost of recruiting units, and protects them from enemy action, and also increase 1 local recruitment capacity in the province that the hero is in. So definitely put these in there. Requires rank 3. Alright, let's see if the ambush tactic works. Alright, it didn't work. They're attacking one of our settlements. They're attacking our minor settlement. We do have a default companion here, defender, guarding it. We do have some nice units, shielded, clubmen, light swordmen. They went on the offense, which is fine. Opens up the city for us if we can defend this. Ooh, interesting map. Let's fight this. Alright, so the enemy is a lot of expendable militia and a lot of javelin throwers. You can see, we can't see everyone, but our units are, we have a bowman, we have a pretty nice faction unique light javelin, renowned sling. So we have pretty premium tier units, and some of these, let's say this one here, you see the pink bar here, that means they have some sort of ammo. So even though they're a melee unit, they carry some sort of special ammo that they can throw out before they go into combat. And they're also improved flanking, shoots well on the move. So these guys we probably want to loop out of the set. Oh, okay, so we can kind of see how they're attacking us. Is the flag a defeat point or just a morale point? It's a defeat point. Okay, so we have to protect it. Can't approach this as 3 kingdoms. Yeah, javelins and militia. They have 1 slinger, 3 slingers, and militia. Militia and javelin. Okay, they don't have good troops, but they have a lot of troops. Let's see. We probably just want to defend here. They'll come in. This is high. This is low. We need like 1 unit to hold here. I'm guessing this is our defense unit. Yeah, 65 armor. Okay, impressive. Armor piercing is going to hurt them. That's why the javelin is going to hurt. But maybe against this, the slingers will do fairly well. We outrange them. They should be 95 range or 110. No. Wait. We have the comparison on. I don't want the comparison. 95. Okay. So how do we turn the comparison off? Okay, we just don't click on one and click on the other. 160. I have a general idea of how I want to play this. We can't leave this spot undefended, then we lose. We don't have a special ability here, but we do have this. I'm gonna send out this group, our range group, to take this group down and then flank with them. Maybe even throw him out there. Our general will go with them, and we'll keep our elite infantry just guarding the square, buying time. Or that's my idea right now. But they don't have much range over here. And we can probably outmaneuver them. Vanguard deployment. Right, hold on. They also can stay hidden. But they can't shoot while staying hidden, they'll get discovered. Alright, we outranged them exactly by 20, so if we can fire at them, they can't fire at us. Just gotta barely get into range. And we can fire well, it's fine. Some damage on them. Okay, we can do this. Let's go.
The foe has sighted
Charge.
your hidden units.
Yeah, because we're shooting at them. Moving to this forest patch. I think these guys are better flanking, so I'm gonna actually just try to engage with my hero and have these guys like flank to the side. Actually, keep running.
Your hero is under attack.
Alright, flank from the side. Charge. Fire back. Alright, they routed. And they're entering our settlements. We have time. Eventually we want these guys to flank. Bring them down. The white is the morale. That's what you want to really kill. Let's kill them a couple more times so they stay broken. We have some range throwing stuff that we're throwing out there. We took a lot of damage though.
One of your units
This
has
side's,
no more ammunition.
this side's doing great. This guy ran out because he only have 2 ammo. Oh, are they coming over to us? We'll relocate. Actually, slingers. Fire on their slingers. Harass. Alright, we won. Let's go back. They haven't won yet. Oh, they bounce back. Alright, we're not done here. Changing fires with them. Not nice, because that guy's coming back. Run, run. Shouldn't these guys be broken already? They have no morale. They're not listening to me. Alright, they're just gonna hold here
The foe
against
is
all that.
capturing your victory point.
They can't pull away from those guys already. Well, this battle part is taking longer than I thought, but we do have lots of shield here, so let's see if we can hold this victory point while these guys mop up. Alright, now those are routed. May please pull these back. Oh wow, when will they stop running? Alright, they're boosting. We're running out of morale. Not good.
Your warriors
This unit's
are losing
getting,
heart.
yeah.
Awaiting orders.
He's taking too much range damage. I can't just abandon him. He would just turn around and shoot us if we turn around. Can we charge forward then?
Your warriors have been routed.
It's okay. He'll bounce back. They have been routed too. Okay, we're gonna lose because we lose the victory point. Lesson learned, but we got the main army out. They're out of their main settlement. We can take that now.
You have lost a victory point.
How long is the cooldown for the victory point? Until we 250 seconds. Okay. We'll try to inflict as much damage as we can during this time period. Alright, they bounce back. Oh, skirmishers have shields. Well, shields are automatically 40% range block chance in this game. Oh, 65. This shield's bigger. Most of the shields I see are 40. Oh, they're all 65. What? Oh, 40. This one's bigger. Wait, why is it 20 now? Oh, I was looking at the heroes. Okay, the hero is higher. Okay, the units are lower, yeah. What I thought. I got them. We got 160 seconds left. We're clearly not going to be able to recover it, but we routed that unit. They're guarding it, so it's not like we can just run in here and steal it back. Yeah, they have a lot of range.
Your stronghold is about to fall.
Yeah, we know. Any chance we can steal it back? 75 seconds. The general's there. This is why we need cavalry, or else how are we gonna run down these routing units? Or something fast. Alright, retake attempt. 12, 10, 9, 5, 4.
Take care.
Oh,
you are losing
we
ground.
didn't make it. Alright, it's fine. Alright. We have a nice headdress, but that didn't do us any good. Alright, so they beat us here. And Javelin defeat. They sacked it first, so they burned it down, and then they basically took it after the sack. They are injured, but this is our chance to get this. So we gotta change stance to regular.
I sanction this. Take them down.
And now it's a very easy delegate here. Cadmean victory. Okay, so Pyrrhic is changed because that hasn't happened yet. Cadmean, I think, is a Thebe king from Greece that lost a lot of sons when he tried to retake the city. But basically, high casualty. But it's a settlement. I think we'll do this, and also we'll do this to save a little bit of time.
Orphan their offspring.
Ooh, there's our scepter. Oh, wow. Okay, it's a very boss move. So one of our militias got completely wiped. We get food and gold, some experience. We are just gonna occupy it, I think. Yeah.
This city is mine.
And since we lost a unit, we can recruit one back. So this is local recruitment, so we don't have many buildings here.
An acceptable
So it's fine. We'll get a nice young spear. It's only level 1. Very sad. They have a vineyard here, so we need to upgrade this as soon as possible. There is a surplus population because we did hold that for a while. So that's when we can use our surplus population to upgrade the settlement. We have our spies and envoys active, and we can kind of see what we can do with them. lead them astray, right? This will cost us 132 food, and the positive outcome is we will cause them to lose their way, prevent them from reaching their destinations, kind of stall them, decrease their campaign movement range. If we fail, we have 6% chance of becoming wounded and 39% just being failure. We have other options. We can go to the city and increase our influence here, but I think we got them to utilize them against the enemy.
Thirst for information.
We do have a lack of food, but we can.
I am proud of my
It worked.
part in your
Nice.
success.
And our spy is going to be a little bit more aggressive here. We can cause riots, weaken the garrison. Is there something we can do? Yeah, we can do something with the general as well. We can cause them to suffer attrition. We can try to assassinate the general outright, but very... Okay, 6% chance of actually killing him, 44% of wounding him, and the failure is also the same ratio for us. 5 gold. That's quite pricey. We do have a nice income of gold, so maybe we should give it a shot. Maybe we wound him.
Or blade. Decisions.
This is our chance in the preview to try everything. And we worked. It worked. We have impaired him, so we wounded him. That means he is no longer in this army for at least a few turns, I believe. And we can, once we get our movement back next turn, we'll go retake this. And the Tyrians are destroyed. So that worked out quite nicely. I guess we did waste a little bit of money building that up. But that is the price. Right, we spend the wood here. And we just can't build stuff because we don't have building slots, nor do we have levels. So we can just wait. Decrees coming. Food is running low. We don't want to be bankrupt. So I am actually going to call on our vassals once again.
Your riches now belong to me.
And requesting from vassal also finishes a mission here. And if we take a look, he's still pretty happy with us. Pretty. Refreshes the -50 again. Greedy master. It'll take time to work it down. Alright, so that should keep us afloat for a little bit longer until we capture more land. We can't get food because he holds that. We have to go to war with them. But that's something we can plan for later. Let's just continue here. And we have a single barter from Agamemnon from Arcadia, asking us straight up for 100 bronze. How dare they? No. And Nestor from Polios, asking us for gold. Wow. Who do we think we are? Alright, so our vassal did a great deed for us. We got a decree issued. Things are going well. Taming the land. They want us to have 60% influence in our capital here. We can do that. Unify. Oh, nice. Nice 10-turn bonus of boost. Also experience. So our vassal came out and wrecked the army without the leader. Now the leader, they summoned a new leader here. Now it's pretty much a free take.
Strike hard and true.
And we get our land here. And with that win, we can kind of shift our focus. We're going to occupy. Oh, we can vassalize from post-battle screen. Should have done that. And because we gain a trait called Sapper. Multiple siege battle wins. -1 turn enemy siege holdout time, plus the morale, all the way to -3. Okay, that seems very useful, considering there's a siege with Troy coming up. We have secured the entire province. Our vassal also count as our land, so we can now issue commandments. So here, maybe we want extra happiness because we are losing 16 a turn. Also get growth here. We also need to spend growth on these. Surplus population 1, bronze workshop. Yeah, let's build that back. We got sacked here. And then we're going to shift our army and agents north and probably declare war on them, secure ourselves a stable food source because we are running a little low. And hopefully that gives you a taste of the, Agamemnon campaign. Basically, you have 2 mechanics that make you unique. and hopefully you get to enjoy this. And we'll be back this later today with Menelaus, and to see how our brother plays in this game. So see you guys then. Bye!